Okay, I am back on Wikipedia, and I'm going to take you through my favorite episodes of Rescue 911, the old emergency show from the 90s. I'm going to take you through my favorite episodes and episodes that I know the most information about. We'll see how many that I know and what I like. So, the first one that I know quite a lot about is an episode called Teen Gun Explosion. In this episode, two teens are doing a little target practice with a shotgun, but when one of them gets ready to fire the gun, and it backfires and explodes, giving that teen some bad injuries, and he gets airlifted to a hospital. And his friend also had sustained injuries from that, and he's also taken to a hospital. But they got through it. Another one that I know is Chocolate Chip Rescue. So, a girl eats a chocolate chip cookie and then starts getting critically ill. You soon find out that she went through an allergic reaction. And the truth came out. She had a nut allergy. They didn't know at the time, but there was in fact walnuts in those cookies that girl ate. So that's what triggered that reaction she went through. From one allergic reaction to another. Next one is fire ant trauma. So a toddler trips in the backyard and lands on an anthill, attracting a load of fire ants. At one point, while she's going through that burning pain, she starts to choke and immediately goes into full-on allergic reaction mode. Here's another one. Her favorite. This one goes into the police category. This is called University Pipe Bomb. Cops go on stakeout on the University of Kansas property, right alongside the JRP dormitory. One cop notices a car, and a guy comes out and heads towards one of the security jeeps. After he leaves, the cop goes to investigate what that guy left at that jeep, and he looks down and notices a pipe bomb. So he runs to get some protective gear, takes that bomb out, and he notices it has about 30 seconds before it explodes. So he panics, he runs into the lawn and puts that bomb down, and immediately he bolts with it seconds before it explodes. In the end, no one was killed. Now we have Lightning Lads. In this episode, two boys are sitting under a tree when a bolt of lightning comes down and shocks them. The only one to call 911 is one of the boys' sister, who lived at the house right next to where they were sitting. Now we have Tornado Trap. This took place in the town of Harrison, Ohio. uh, and a big tornado has touched down in Harrison and getting ready to threaten the town. And even some firefighters that were at the station at the time of when the storm came down. What and one of the families of a fireman and at the station and is in trouble at the house as the tornado reaches their house and puts them under the rubble. Let's see what else. Okay, I have another one. Balcony Fall. So, in this episode, in the town of Gulf Shores, Alabama, a teenage girl is planning on sneaking out after her curfew, but in the process, when she's going down on the when she's going down on from balcony to balcony to see her friend and who's down below, she accidentally gets stuck on the railings of the balcony, and her hand slips and she falls 4 stories to the ground and got head trauma from that. Thankfully, she didn't die from that. Now we have sporting goods heist. So, at a sporting goods store in Mesa, 3 convicts have just robbed the store, and cops plan on catching them. They have to go to their apartment and complex, where 2 of them get caught, but one of them runs deeper into the complex. But it all ends when one of the officers pepper sprayed him in the eyes. But he also pepper sprayed his partner in the eyes as he was close, right next to the suspect when the mace came out. So in the end, both of them got their eyes burned. Now we have chemistry hero. So, at school in a chemistry class, one set of chemicals gets mixed and it starts to smoke, and that's when the teacher immediately grabs it and plans on getting it outside before it explodes. But he doesn't get far. He got down the stairs, and right as he was about to get it out the door of that school, it exploded right in his face, getting chemicals in his eyes and giving him some bad damage. Now we have one of my personal favorites. It's 6th grade CPR. In this episode, a teacher collapses during class due to a possible cardiac arrest. And one of the kids that's in his class, as 11-year-old Aaron Rankin, and became the hero when he performed CPR on his teacher. Aaron knew how to do this because both of his parents work in the medical industry. His mom as a nurse and his dad as a paramedic. So his parents taught him how to do CPR. So Aaron did CPR while he got students from the class to run to the office and get a little extra help. And paramedics showed up. And one of the paramedics was actually a former student of Mr. Corbett, who was the teacher, passed out on the floor. In the end, Mr. Corbett survived his cardiac arrest. And Aaron got an award from the American Heart Association for what he did. Now we have Grapevine Fall. So, some high school students sneak out of their school and head into the woods where they swing on a grapevine. But when one of them swings on the grapevine and hits midair, the vine breaks, causing the student to take a terrifying fall down the hill. To the point of where, in the end, his bones are showing out of his leg. What else do we have in here? Okay, Sister, Stop, Drop, and Roll. In this episode, a young girl is making oatmeal, and in the process, when she goes to grab for the wooden spoon, her robe gets caught in the flame and it lights on fire. Also getting a little bit of her skin in the process. Her sister was trying to get her to stop, drop, and roll, which was barely working, as the fire wasn't actually leaving. And she survived the fire, but her skin was burnt. Okay, now we have St. Louis gas leak. In this episode, a family is getting ready to move into a house, but when the wife starts to get ill, at first she thinks it's nothing to worry about, but later on that night, it gets bad as she feels like she is dying. So her husband takes her to the hospital to get checked out. And while there, she's watching Rescue 911 on the television, and it's showing an episode about carbon monoxide. And then she starts to suspect that she may have just gotten ingested with CO. And that scares the husband in half to death, because he knows that as kids are in that house, that quite possibly has carbon monoxide running around. And he was right. There was carbon monoxide. Now we have Swarm Save. In Swarm Save, a farmer it's completely attacked by a mean swarm of bees, and he gets severely stung everywhere. Also, during that, one of the paramedics got an allergic reaction from the bee. So that was an added bonus. Now we have baby EJ's burn. So while at a relative baby EJ a trips over a cord that is connected to a fryer that's filled with hot oil. So when he trips, the fryer goes down, and this baby gets splashed by the oil, and gets some bad burns. Let's see what else I have in here. Okay, 911 market robbery. So, when two supermarket attendants from the Bel Air supermarket in California are are leaving after their shifts ends. Just as they step foot out the exit door, four masked gunmen and run through the door opposite of the store. When they see that, they immediately run out and head to the nearest phone and get 911. And almost immediately, the police show up and the canine unit. Alright, now we have, I think, my all-time favorite episode next to the CPR episode. This is Special Olympian Hero. So in this episode, off-duty cop Gene Heine is working on his new house, and he's running over to his parents' house to pick up his younger brother Eric to help him out. And Eric is a special kid because he's got Down syndrome. He does Special Olympics, and what makes him special, in my opinion, he volunteers with the fire department, which did come in handy in this episode, and I will get to that. So while Gene and Eric are working at the house, Gene gets stung by a yellow jacket. At first he thinks it's nothing, but then he starts to get into the ill category, and next thing you know, he starts going into full-on anaphylactic shock. So he calls for his brother to go down the hill to the house and call 911. So Eric does just that, and immediately a load of volunteer paramedics show up at the scene and assess the situation. And Gene Heine was treated for his allergic reaction to bee stings and was released the same day. Since then, and I think Gene has considered his brother a hero, and I do not blame Eric. What else do we have in here? Ooh, I got one. Boy Scout Treehouse Save. In this episode, a set of friends who are in the Boy Scouts are working on a treehouse. But when a branch falls, one of the boys falls down onto ground level, face first. You just say he was banged up, but he did survive his injuries. Let's see what else I could find here. Let's see if I have a few more. Ooh, babysitter down. So when a 15-year-old babysitter goes to babysit two boys who have been babysat by this woman before, at one point this babysitter passes out and is taken to the hospital. It was later found that she passed out due to dehydration, lack of food, and a bad reaction to cold medication. Now, I have CO poison family. So, a family of 10 in Roseville, Minnesota, one morning get a unpleasant visit from the silent killer, better known as carbon monoxide. And they don't know it at first, but when the dad goes down to check the furnace, that's when he suspects that it was carbon monoxide poisoning. And because of this being a family of 10, they had to call in multiple rescue units. So many ambulances showed up to that house. It's ridiculous. Now I have 911 child asthma. In this episode, a 12-year-old boy from Omaha, Nebraska, in the dead of night, he starts to experience a bad asthma attack, and he has to walk far to find in his breathing machine that was far from his bedroom. But it was too late. Once he reached his breathing machine, he stopped breathing and he collapsed on the floor. While his mother couldn't find his epinephrine shots to get him back to breathing, she couldn't find them, so she immediately had to go straight for the 911. In the end, and this boy, Clint, suffered a collapsed lung and a mild case of pneumonia. And somehow he managed to survive that. Alright, what else do I have in here? There has to be some more. Alright, here's an episode that didn't have a title, I think, but it featured a woman who suffered an allergic reaction at a prom. Just because she ate shrimp for dinner before she went to the prom. So it was later learned that she had a shellfish allergy. Alright. This might be my last one. Hornet attack save. So while a family is hanging out at a cabin, and one of the family members accidentally lets a huge hornet into the cabin as it flies around scaring people. But when this hornet accidentally gets in the back of one of their shirts, he gets stung and immediately he goes into anaphylactic shock. Alright, I think I have two more actually. First one, Depakote disaster. So, this is about a little girl who got poisoned by this medicine known as Depakote, which is supposed to treat seizures. And that medicine was actually for the eldest daughter who had a history of seizures. So she takes this Depakote medicine to control them, so she doesn't have to face the seizures head on. But the youngest daughter accidentally had ingested some of them, and in the dead of morning she starts to gasp for air. And doctors try and work this, but this is some serious trouble that they're going through. But eventually, they get the poison out of her. Okay, my last one. Bridal Veil Falls Rescue. So, and so, and a family is hiking around Bridal Veil Falls. One of the family members trips and rolls down the falls, eventually reaching the end of a cliff and plummets down. And I was expecting a lot more injuries from this, but his only major one was him breaking his arm. And that was his only major injury. I would have expected more from the height that he went from when he reached the end of that cliff. Yeah, he got airlifted to the hospital and he survived his injuries, surprisingly. Insane. Alright, I think that's all I have for you. Thank you very much for watching, and peace out!